This has been an absolutely insane week in terms of AI image generation. We've had 2 new image generators drop, and both of them might be even better than what's considered the best model out there, Flux. And Flux was only released like 2 weeks ago, so the rate of progress is just insane. Anyways, these new models are Ideogram version 2 and this mysterious one called Mystic. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use it and compare these 2 new models with other leading image generators out there, including Flux Pro and the latest version of Midjourney, version 6.1. In fact, let's do a quick test right now and see which image you think is the best. So here are the results from the 4 image generators using the same prompt. I'm not going to tell you which one is which. You let me know which one looks best to you out of all these generations and which ones actually follow the prompt the most. So the first prompt is a woman doing a Warrior 1 yoga pose at home. For your reference, a Warrior 1 yoga pose looks like this. So let me know which one looks the best to you. Next one, here's a photo of a man giving a TED Talk. Behind him is a big neon sign with the text TEDxAI search, etc., etc., etc. Note that I'm not shuffling the order of the models around, so each model is in the same position between 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me know which one looks best to you. Alright, next we have a low quality Snapchat photo of a teenage man taking a mirror selfie. The photo was shot on a phone and posted in 2015 on Snapchat. Which one actually looks like a low quality Snapchat photo? Alright, next one. Here is a teenage woman holding a handwritten note that says verify me 8/22/2024. Low quality selfie photo. Again, I'm going for this really mediocre low quality selfie shot, so let me know which one looks the most realistic to you. Next we have 2 hands making a heart symbol. Let me know which one looks the best and also the most realistic to you. Alright, and here is a really tricky prompt that throws a lot of image generators off. Alright, so the prompt is a woman showing her palms and soles of feet, realistic, professional photo, depth of field. I would say none of these actually got it fully correct, but out of these 4 images, let me know which one looks best to you. Alright, here's a tricky prompt that really tests its understanding of context and composition of the image. So, photo of a red sphere on top of a blue cube. Behind them is a green triangle. On the right is a dog, on the left is a cat. Which one looks the best to you? Here's another very tricky prompt. An astronaut riding a giant snail with an iridescent shell through a desert landscape. The astronaut is waving a flag that says I love AI. Which one looks the best here? Next we have a watercolor painting of a whale in the sky. Which one looks the best? Which one actually looks like a watercolor painting? And also notice the whale. Which whale actually looks like a whale? Finally, we have an anime girl in the city at night. Note that I'm specifically going for an anime style. So which one actually looks like anime and which one is the best quality? Here we have a Komodo dragon in the forest. Its tongue is extended and it appears to be alert and in motion. Now, for your information, a Komodo dragon looks like this. So out of these 4 images, which one actually looks like a Komodo dragon and not just a made-up creature? Alright, so I'm actually going to go over the answers throughout this video. Again, I'm going to test out these 4 image generators, and the first 2, Ideogram version 2 and Mystic, are new. So let's jump right in. The first image generation model I'm going to try out is called Mystic. Now, this is just a code name for now. I'm not sure if this is going to be the official name, and you can use this on freepik.com, which is an image generation platform. Now, Mystic is actually created by the team at Magnific, and if you haven't heard of Magnific, this is a super high quality image upscaler. So for example, here's the before image, and after upscaling it, here is the after. So you can see it uses generative AI to fill in the blanks and add in a lot more detail to the image. So anyways, that was Magnific. Recently, they've merged with Freepik, and they've created this new image model, which is codenamed Mystic. Now, for now, this is invite only, so keep that in mind. Not everyone can access this yet. And the second image generator I'm going to share with you today is called Ideogram. Now, this is available for everyone to use. And they've actually existed for a long time already, but just a few days ago, they've released version 2 of Ideogram, and it seems to be way better than version 1. Plus, Midjourney just opened up their web-based image editor. Before, Midjourney was only based on Discord, but here they finally made a web interface, and if you join right now, you get 25 free image generations. So I'm also going to test out the same prompts in this web interface. Finally, I'm going to test out Flux Pro. This is currently considered the best image generator out there that surpasses the quality of Stable Diffusion and Midjourney. Now, this is the paid version. This is Flux Pro. You can't actually download this and run it locally on your computer. So I'm using a platform called Glyph to use Flux Pro for free. All you got to do is sign up for a free account, and then you can click build to drag and drop blocks here. So what I've done is I've built this image generator where you can write a prompt and then it uses Flux Pro as the generation model. You can choose the aspect ratio of your image plus various controls. So instead of you having to build out this entire workflow, I'm just gonna share this link with you and paste it in the description below. All right, so to sum things up, I'm going to compare the new Mystic and the new Ideogram version 2 with the newest version of Midjourney and the best version of Flux. Alright, let's start with the first prompt. So I'm going to write a woman doing a Warrior 1 yoga pose at home. And for the aspect ratio, I'm just going to keep everything 1:1 for all 4 image generators. And the settings of FreePic are quite different if you're used to Flux or Stable Diffusion, which has things like guidance scale and denoising strength. Here, you can select different styles from like photo, illustration, 3D, comic, etc., etc. I'm going to choose photo for this example. And then for the color, you can choose like pastel, black and white, gold, glow, vibrant, cold, neon. I'm just going to leave it at the default of all colors. And then here's a really cool setting. You can even select the different camera angles. So like portrait, wide angle shot, low angle shot, etc. Again, I'm just going to leave this blank. And then for the lighting, again, you can choose from different options. But I'm going to leave the creativity to it. So I'm going to leave all of these blank and just enter in the prompt and then press create. By the way, a Warrior 1 pose looks like this. So for this first prompt, I'm trying to test out its understanding of human anatomy and see if it can generate uncommon poses. So here's what I got. This is a woman doing yoga, but it's not the Warrior 1 pose. So let me try to generate this again and see if it can generate anything better. All right, and here's what I got. So let me open this for you. This is a woman doing yoga, but she's not exactly doing a Warrior 1 pose. She does have 5 fingers on each hand. However, her legs kind of look weird here. I wouldn't give this a high score necessarily. Again, a Warrior 1 pose should look like this. Next, let's paste in the same prompt for Ideogram. So for magic prompt, this is an option that automatically enhances your prompt. I'm going to set this to auto, and then aspect ratio, I'm going to keep it 1:1. Make sure you are using version 2, which is the latest version. And then here's a cool option. So you can choose the set of colors that you want to represent in your image. And if you expand this, you can see there are different sets of colors here. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that the image would only have these colors. It just means that these colors would have higher importance or prominence in your image. I'm just going to leave this at the default, which is auto. And then here for rendering, this is kind of like how many steps you want to set it to. So if you prioritize speed, it's going to be lower quality. If you prioritize quality, it's going to take longer to generate. I'm just going to leave it at the default. And then you can also add in a negative prompt if you wanted to, but just to keep my test consistent across the other image generators, which I'm testing today, where you don't need to add negative prompts, I'm going to leave this blank. And then for the style, let's select realistic down here and then click generate. All right, our generation is complete. So first of all, you can see it understands human anatomy really well. It can generate a body very realistically. However, this is the Warrior 2 pose. All right, the Warrior 2 pose looks like this. This is not Warrior 1, which should look like this. And now for Ideogram, it generates 4 images at once. So here's the first image. Here's the second image. By the way, you can see it nails the hands, the fingers, the toes. This looks very realistic. Here's another one. Again, just nails the hands and the toes. And here's the final one. Just a slight flaw here. There's a bit of hair growing out from her neck. The face is not too detailed here, but overall, in terms of human anatomy, this is pretty good. However, I would say that none of these are the pose that I have specified, so I wouldn't give this a pass. Alright, let's try the same prompt with Midjourney. So on the web interface, you simply go to Create, and then you enter in your prompt here. Now there are various settings that you can select from, such as the aspect ratio. I'm going to select square, and then for the model, I'm going to just choose the default of standard, and make sure you are using version 6.1, which is the most recent and the best quality version. And then you can also tweak these aesthetic settings, such as the style, the weirdness, the variety. For the purpose of this test, I'm just going to leave everything at the default, and then speed is just basically, well, how fast you want it to generate. The slower the speed, the better quality your image would be, and vice versa. So I'm going to leave it at the default value, which is fast. Alright, let's click generate. So you can see Midjourney also generates 4 images at once. And here are the 4 images. You can see Midjourney still cannot do hands and fingers. If I zoom in here, you can see, oh my goodness, this is awful. Over here as well, this does not look like a hand. She's like missing a few fingers here. And even the human anatomy, this arm to chest and waist ratio doesn't look normal. Let me know if you think the same thing. Anyways, here is the second photo. Again, just the fingers are really weird here. Although everything else does look accurate, I do like the aesthetics of Midjourney. It does have this DSLR cinematic feel. Here's another photo, and you can see, oh my gosh, her foot is like disappearing into the floor here. That's disturbing. And then I don't know what pose this is. It's definitely not the Warrior 1 pose. And then here's the final image. You can see, again, just totally failed with generating hands and fingers. Even the bra here looks very weird. So yeah, I would give this a fail. None of these images seem to understand what exactly is a Warrior 1 pose. Alright, and then finally we have Flux Pro. So I'm going to paste in the same prompt here. I'm going to leave the aspect ratio at square, and then steps I'll leave it at the standard of 3.8, and then prompt power, this is basically the guidance, I'm going to leave it at 3.5. And then let's click generate. Alright, and first try, Flux actually kind of got the Warrior 1 pose, which again should look like this. That's awesome. And by the way, even Flux isn't actually the best result that I've gotten for this prompt. So previously, I also ran a test with Google's newest Imagen 3, and you can see this is the best photo I've ever generated of a woman doing a Warrior 1 pose. So if you want to learn more about Google's image generator, check out this video if you haven't already. But anyways, back to today's test, here's a comparison of all 4 models side by side. In terms of following the prompt, Flux Pro is the only one to understand that a Warrior 1 pose looks like this. Ideogram is actually okay, but the face is low quality. For Midjourney, 6.1, this is the most recent version, and it still cannot generate accurate hands and fingers. This is not a good sign. Alright, next I'm going to test another prompt. So here the prompt is photo of a man giving a TED talk. Behind him is a big neon sign with the text TEDx AI search. Spotlight style lighting, soft shadows, sharp focus, shallow depth of field. Again, I'm going to select Mystic as the model, square aspect ratio, and in the style of photo. I'm going to leave everything else at the default and then click create. Alright, and here's what I got. You can see super high quality. In terms of quality and details, Mystic is freaking amazing. I mean, look at the quality of this guy's face. This looks so realistic. It is covering the X for TEDx. It's also missing AI search, which I specified in the prompt, so not really good for prompt following and generating text. But let me actually try to generate this one more time and give it another chance. Alright, here's the second image. It nailed the hands and fingers. It nailed the dude's face. Super high quality. Very sharp details on this dude. Even the mic looks realistic. And this does generate TEDx AI search. You can see the X is kind of covered by this dude, but that's fine. This looks like a really realistic dude doing a TED Talk on stage. Very impressive. Alright, and here's what I got with Ideogram version 2. Note that Ideogram is known to generate text really well. If you want to generate any images with text and text is your main focus, I would definitely use Ideogram over the other image generators. Here are the 4 image generations. You can see it nailed the TEDx sign. It totally followed the text which I specified in the prompt. It also kind of got the hands and fingers correct. The only flaw I could spot is, first of all, the dude has 2 mics, one here and one here, so that's strange. Plus, his face is not very detailed. Anyways, here's the second photo that it generated. You can see, again, the face is really messed up because this dude is far away, I assume, but it got the text correct. Here's the third example. His face is lacking in detail, but the text is correct. And here's the final example. Again, his face is messed up, his right hand is messed up. All right, and here's what we got for Midjourney. This is like the complete opposite of Ideogram. So it can generate people very realistically, but it sucks at generating text. So it doesn't seem to have any idea of what the TEDx logo should look like. It just generated a very generic neon sign with the text. Plus, it's missing AI. I specified TEDx AI search, but it's missing the AI. Plus, even search is not spelled correctly here. Again, his right hand is really messed up. This is not great and not what I would expect for Midjourney version 6.1. Alright, the other image generators like Magnific, this is like alpha, this isn't even released yet. Ideogram, this is only version 2. Flux, this is only version 1. I mean, for Midjourney version 6.1 to still get hands and fingers incorrect is not acceptable in my opinion. Here's the second image that it generated. Again, it could not generate text correctly. The dude's face is very accurate though, but again, he's missing a finger on each hand, it seems like. Just a mediocre photo. Interestingly, here it kind of got the TEDx logo correct, but it shouldn't have these neon lines within the letters. And also you can see if the person is far away, it totally messes up his face and his hands and fingers. And then here's the fourth image from Midjourney. Again, clear error in the logo. It's missing the word AI. His hand is messed up here. Plus, his face isn't really that detailed in this example. And then finally, we have Flux Pro. You can see Flux Pro nails the hands and fingers. It nails the sign, TEDx AI search. The only flaw is his face isn't really that detailed, but this is a far away full body image, so I'll give it some room for error. But yeah, this is the generation for Flux Pro. And here are all 4 image models side by side. So if I had to pick a winner here, I would choose Mystic. It generated a really realistic and detailed man. The sign and the text is very accurate. In terms of just the quality of the text and the sign, I would choose Ideogram version 2. It's known to do well with text and logos, but the quality of the human is not great. So yeah, I would say for this prompt, overall, Mystic is the winner here. Thanks to the partner of this video, NordVPN. As a digital nomad, I travel quite a lot, and I often have to use the Wi-Fi at the airport or cafes or hotels. But did you know that when you connect to Wi-Fi, especially public Wi-Fi networks, hackers can easily intercept and steal your data? Another common threat is phishing. I don't know about you, but I get so much spam and fake emails every single day. Some of them are obvious, some of them look pretty real. And if you accidentally open a deceptive email link or attachment, well, hackers could steal your personal information. So if you're concerned about your online privacy, NordVPN has got your back. By encrypting your internet connection, NordVPN helps protect your data. Whether you're browsing online, using a public Wi-Fi, or opening your emails, rest assured that your data will be protected by NordVPN. Today, I'm thrilled to tell you about an amazing offer you don't want to miss. Get 4 extra months at no additional cost by simply heading over to nordvpn.com/AI search. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, that's nordvpn/AI search, or you can also click the link in the description below. Secure your online browsing today with NordVPN. Alright, next, the prompt is a teenage woman holding a handwritten note that says, "Verify me, 8/22/2024. Low quality selfie photo." And then for the style, I'm just not going to select anything. I think if I select photo, it might give me a realistic, very detailed photo, which is not what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for this low quality photo that was taken on a regular phone. So let me press create and see what that gives us. All right, and here's what I got for Mystic. You can see it does have a handwritten note. It got the text correct. This is a woman holding the note. However, this wasn't really the style I was going for. I was going for a more, low quality photo taken on your phone. Whereas Mystic just consistently gives me this really high quality cinematic photo with depth of field. You don't really see such blurriness in regular phone photos. But if you weren't going for that specific style, then everything else looks really good. You can see she has 5 fingers on each hand. The hands do look very accurate. And here's what I got from Ideogram. You can see here, this does look like she's taking a selfie. This is actually a really good looking selfie photo, but her note is kind of floating in mid-air. So that's strange. Here's another one. This is a really good example. You can see it also was really good at generating her hands. This does have 5 fingers on each hand. She is holding this note that says verify me, and the text is indeed correct. Here's the third example. Again, she is taking a selfie, but it seems like she's doing so with both hands, in which case then the note is kind of floating in mid-air, which is strange. Finally, here's the last photo, and this is what I was going for. You can see like one of her hands is holding the phone to take a selfie, and the other hand is holding the note. The note does look handwritten. She does look like an average looking woman. This is amazing. I would give this photo in particular 100%. Here's what I got from Midjourney. You can see Midjourney generates really nice and detailed faces. However, it sucks at generating text. So somehow there's a verify here on the bathroom wall for some reason. And then it should say verify me 8/22/2024. It did not get that correct. So this isn't really good for text. All right, this one is slightly better. You can see still some strange misspelling. So the I in verify has 2 dots plus the 0 in 2024 seems to be smaller for some reason. But other than that, I mean, this does look like a selfie photo. Here's another example. This is more of what I was going for. You can see this grainy, blurry, low quality photo. One hand is holding the camera, the other hand is holding the note. However, the date is messed up. This should be 8/2022. Plus, she seems to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fingers plus a thumb. The hand is not great. And again, I'm really disappointed that we're already at version 6, but Midjourney still cannot really consistently generate hands and fingers correctly. All right, here's the final photo. I actually really like this one. Again, this is a low quality selfie photo. It does not have verify me. There's an extra slash here, but everything else looks good. So I would say in terms of following a style of the image, Midjourney does quite well. However, in terms of following text, it's quite bad compared to the other models that I'm testing today. All right, and here's what I got from Flux Pro. You can see it nailed the text. It nailed the hands and fingers. This looks very realistic, but it's too cinematic. This looks like it was taken from a professional DSLR camera. You can see insane depth of field here, and it shouldn't look like this for a low quality selfie photo that was taken from a phone. So not really the style that I was going for, but everything else looks very detailed and realistic. So here are the 4 image models side by side. I would have to say for both Mystic and Flux, they're really good at generating this cinematic style with depth of field. So if you're going for that, definitely use those 2 models. However, in this case, since I wanted to generate a low quality selfie photo, I would say the winner here is Ideogram version 2. This does look like a handwritten note. This does look like she's taking a selfie with an average phone. And I mean, she looks very normal. You can see she even has a mole here, whereas all the other faces, they kind of look too good, too perfect to be a real human, if you know what I'm saying. All right, next one, Donald Trump and Harris kissing each other. In my previous video testing out Grok 2, which uses a version of Flux, it was able to generate this perfectly. Let's see if Mystic can pull this off. So what I'm really testing here in this prompt is, can it generate existing people, like celebrities? I know that some image generators are not trained on these faces, or maybe they have some safety filters, so you cannot actually generate famous people. I'm testing if Mystic can do this here. And here we have Donald Trump kissing. Who on earth is this? This does not look like Harris. But anyways, maybe we could use this photo to trigger a scandal or something. I'm just kidding. So it seems like Mystic knows Donald Trump, but it doesn't know Harris. It wasn't trained on her face. And here is Ideogram, and holy smokes, Ideogram is so realistic. This is crazy, and it even has like some text in the background, United We Stand. I'm actually shocked and really impressed by the generation of Ideogram. So this is just the first photo. Let me show you the second one. Holy smokes, you can see the crowd in the background waving the American flag. This is incredible. Here's the third one. Oh my god, this is so realistic. I mean, this face of Harris is even more realistic than what I got from Grok 2. And what is going on here? I don't know why Trump can't just kiss her lips directly. But anyways, there you go. Here is Ideogram. I'm really impressed with this quality. And the fact that it's also able to generate realistic signs and banners in the background, and even this entire crowd waving flags. I mean, look at the level of detail in this crowd. Everyone looks so realistic, and I haven't seen this level of quality in previous image generators. And now if I paste in the same prompt in Midjourney, it says you have triggered a moderation alert and are temporarily blocked from submitting jobs. Are you kidding me? That's lame. That's really lame, Midjourney. And then here's what I got from Flux Pro. Again, it doesn't seem like it knows what Harris looks like. So I think even the Flux model that was used in Grok 2, it seems to be their own fine-tuned model of Flux. They're not just using Flux Pro. So here are the 4 image generators side by side. I have to say, the clear winner here is surprisingly Ideogram version 2. It's the most realistic and accurate result. Alright, next prompt, I'm going to write 2 hands making a heart symbol. For the style, I'm going to choose photo and then click create. And here I'm really trying to test out if it can generate uncommon poses with hands and fingers. It has generated this correctly, and the details are just absolutely incredible. It does have 5 fingers on each hand. It is making this heart shape. This is beautiful. And this is Ideogram version 2. This is really good. And this isn't like some perfect cinematic photo, but a real photo that, for example, a couple would take on a trip. Everything from the hands, the fingers, the sleeves, the watch, the ring on her finger, it just looks realistic. Here's another one, very creative. The rings on her fingers do look accurate. The fingernails are also very accurate and consistent. She does have 5 fingers on each hand, and she is kind of making this heart symbol. Here's another one. Again, 5 fingers on each hand. Look at the level of detail on these hands. I think I like this even better than Mystic. And then finally, here's the last one. This is just really good. And then back to Midjourney version 6. Wow, this is just so lame. I'm sorry to say, but Midjourney is just so outdated now. Even their newest version 6.1 still cannot generate accurate and realistic hands and fingers. This is absolutely awful. Here's another one. This just looks so weird. You can see even like up here, her index finger is kind of merging with her middle finger. I'm not sure why it added a heart symbol here. This isn't what I was going for. And here's another example. This is pretty awful. All right, this one looks slightly more normal. So this is the best out of the 4 generations, but it's not great. And finally, we have Flux Pro. This is also very realistic. If you zoom in, you can clearly see the details on the hands. And yeah, everything else looks pretty good to me. Here are the 4 image generators side by side. I would give the point here to Ideogram. I was really impressed by its results, but Flux Pro is at a close second place. And then Midjourney is just god-awful here. They're already at version 6, but it still cannot consistently generate good hands and fingers. Now, I'm sure it can do normal things very well. Again, just a reminder here, I'm really testing all 4 image models on very tricky and challenging prompts that I know earlier image generators tend to get wrong. Anyways, here's another tricky prompt. A woman showing her palms and soles of feet, realistic professional photo, depth of field. It's historically been really hard for AI to generate accurate hands and feet. So I'm testing if it can generate both of these in the same photo. Aha! So here's what I got from Mystic. Again, this is a very tricky prompt. I'm not just using this prompt to generate images of feet. You can see if I try to get it to generate palms and feet in the same image, it throws it off and it generates like a billion fingers, and the toes do not look accurate. So this is a fail, but this is what I expect. It's really hard for AI to actually pull this off. And here's what I got from Ideogram, and this is actually quite good. I mean, it first of all got the palms and the feet correct. In terms of proportions, I think the feet should be slightly bigger, but I mean, overall, this looks very realistic. I'm actually very surprised at this generation from Ideogram. Here's another image. Again, really good. Holy smokes, it just nailed this one. Like the toes, the feet are accurate, the hands and fingers are accurate. She's not showing palms necessarily, but the level of realism is just really good here. Here's another example. This also really good. Nailed the feet, nailed the fingers. Here's another example, also just really realistic. And then for Midjourney, it's not even generating feet, so it only gave me her palms. So here's image 1. Here's image 2, here's image 3, here's image 4. So that's lame. There ain't got no feet. And then finally, here is Flux Pro. You can see even with Flux Pro, which is supposedly the best image generator out there, this prompt really confuses it, and it cannot generate a good photo. And here are the 4 image generators side by side. Again, I think the clear winner here is Ideogram version 2. Again, note that this is a very tricky prompt, and even Flux Pro could not generate this accurately. Alright, next I'm going to test out its understanding of context and composition. So this is a very tricky prompt with many different elements in the image. Photo of a red sphere on top of a blue cube. Behind them is a green triangle. On the right is a dog. On the left is a cat. Let's see if it can pull this off. Very interesting. So Mystic was not able to pull this off. It's missing a cat. It is a red sphere on top of a blue cube. There is a green triangle in the background. I don't know what this piece is. There is a dog on the right, but it's missing a cat. Here we're also starting to see some strange results from Ideogram. So it says a photo of a red sphere on top of a blue cube. So why is there an extra blue sphere here? There is a green triangle in the background. There is a dog on the right, a cat on the left. So overall okay, but it's just, why is there a blue sphere? Here's another example. Also, it got all the elements correctly, but there's just an extra blue sphere in the middle. And this dog looks pretty cute. Look at that face with the pink bow tie. Here again, it nailed everything, but there's just an extra blue sphere in the middle. And here's the 4th example. So I mean, overall, this is very real. I would say this is better at following the prompt, at least compared with Mystic. And here is what we got from Midjourney. There is a red sphere on top of a blue cube. It's not exactly a green triangle in the background, but there is a dog on the right, a cat on the left. Here, it's totally missing the dog. The cat is not on the left, it's on the right, plus there is no green triangle. Here, again, the dog is on the left when it should be on the right. There is no cat. This ain't a cube, plus there's no green triangle. This is another fail where it's missing the cat. There's no green triangle in the background. So that's a fail for Midjourney. And then finally, we have Flux Pro, and as I expected, this is really damn good. So it got the red sphere correct. It's on a blue cube with a green triangle in the back, with a dog on the right and a cat on the left. So it nailed this one. Here are the 4 generators side by side. In terms of actually following the prompt and getting everything correct, you got to give it to Flux Pro. Ideogram comes at a very close second. It got everything correct, but it just added an extra blue sphere in the middle. But in terms of detail and quality, I would have to give it to Mystic. The dog looks super sharp. And Ideogram also looks super realistic. I mean, look at the realism of the dog and the cat. This is really good. And then Midjourney, I'm not even going to talk about. It's clearly a fail here. Alright, here's another prompt to test out its understanding of context and composition and different elements in an image. So the prompt is an astronaut riding a giant snail with an iridescent shell through a desert landscape. The astronaut is waving a flag that says, "I love AI." So again, a very complex prompt with multiple elements. There has to be an astronaut with a giant snail, and the snail has to have an iridescent shell. They have to be in a desert, plus the astronaut has to wave a flag, plus the flag has to have this text accurately. So this is a very tricky prompt for AI image generators. Let's see if Mystic can pull this off. And here is what we got. We do have an astronaut riding a giant snail. Whoa. Look at that face. That's kind of cute, actually, except for this dangling piece of meat from his mouth. And then it does have an iridescent shell, kind of. The astronaut is waving a flag that says I love AI, and he is in a desert. So this is pretty good. Next, let's move over to Ideogram, and holy smokes, again, I am just so impressed by this. This is an astronaut riding a giant snail. The snail actually looks like a snail, and it has a very iridescent shell. It's really hard to generate iridescence in an image, but it's able to get this part correct. Plus, the astronaut is waving a flag that says I love AI. Really good. Here's the second image. There is some error here, so it should say I love AI, but you know, the word love tends to throw AI off sometimes. It kind of gets confused on whether it should generate a love symbol or the word love. Here's the third image. Again, it got the text correct, got the astronaut, got the snail correct. This is pretty good. And here's the fourth example. Same thing. The mouth parts are kind of weird, but this does look like a snail with an iridescent shell. The dude is holding a flag that says I love AI. Very impressive. And here's what we got from Midjourney, and this is god-awful. I mean, the text is not accurate. The snail is not accurate. I mean, what is this? This does not look like a snail. That's a fail for me. Here's the second generation. Again, it did not get the text correct. This ain't a snail. A snail doesn't have legs, okay? And then this shell is not iridescent, so that's a fail. This one is kind of okay. It got the text correct this time. The shell is kind of iridescent, but this does not look like a snail. And finally, here it added an extra word. Again, this does not look like a snail. So yeah, it's hard to give this a pass. And here's what I got for Flux Pro. You can see even for Flux Pro, this is supposed to be, you know, the best version of Flux. It cannot generate animals. I've already demonstrated this in a previous video where I compared it with Google's image generator, and Flux just really sucks at generating uncommon animals. It's only good at generating humans and sometimes cats and dogs, but for everything else, it just sucks. So this is what we got. And then it also, surprisingly, did not get the text correct. This should be I love AI. And here are the 4 image generators side by side. So again, the surprising winner here is Ideogram. Look how realistic Ideogram is, just in terms of the snail, the iridescence, the astronaut following the text, compared with all these other state-of-the-art image generators. Ideogram V2 is really damn good. Alright, next I'm going to test out different styles. So the prompt here is a watercolor painting of a whale in the sky. And then for style, I'm going to select watercolor and then click create. And here's what we got for Mystic. I kind of suspect that it's copying Flux's architecture or training data to some degree, because it doesn't seem to generate a whale really realistically. You can see this does not look like a whale. It is a watercolor painting though, so it got the style correct. Next, let's do the same thing in Ideogram. So because this is a watercolor painting, I'm not going to select realistic here. I'm going to select auto and then click generate. Here's what I got from Ideogram. So this isn't really a watercolor painting. You can see some signs of watercolor, but you can see the splash here clearly isn't watercolor. It wasn't really what I was going for. However, the whale does look more accurate than what I got with Mystic so far. Here's another example. I do like the sky. This is, you know, the watercolor effect that I was going for. Here's another example. Oh, that is so sad. Why is it swimming in this, like, you know, industrial waste? That's really sad. And so after swimming in industrial waste, now it's swimming across a rainbow. That's interesting. But anyways, that's Ideogram. And then here is Midjourney. I actually like this one from Midjourney. This is more what I was going for. So here's the first generation. Here's the second generation. This is actually very good. I really like, you know, this watercolor style, which is what I specified in the prompt. Here's another example, and the final example. And then finally, we have Flux Pro here. So again, I just got to remind you that Flux does not do well with animals besides humans, cats, and dogs. So you can see even for something as common as a whale, it cannot generate it correctly. So for your information, a whale does not look like this, okay? But anyways, I really like the watercolor style. This is exactly the style that I was going for. So at least it got the style correct. Alright, next let's test out anime. So the prompt is an anime girl in the city at night. And then for the style, I'm just going to turn this off. And I hope it knows that I want to generate this in an anime style. And here's what we got from Mystic. This is really good. 100% anime style. I can't find any flaws with this except for the signs. The characters don't actually exist. And this is still a noticeable flaw for all image generators. It cannot generate signs with real characters yet. But in terms of generating this anime girl in a city at night, this is really good. Alright, and here's what I got with Ideogram. You can see it's not really good at generating anime. Yes, it can generate anime, but I just don't like this style for some reason. This looks like an amateur drew this. It doesn't look very good. Here's the second generation. Have I seen this character somewhere? Oh, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I've seen an anime movie before with someone who looks like this. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments below. Here's the third example. I guess it's good at generating scenes from an actual anime. So this looks like it's from an anime movie or TV show, but it doesn't look like anime artwork. Here's the final example. So that's Ideogram. Next, let's move on to Midjourney, and here's what we got. This is kind of anime style, but not really. Here's the second example. This isn't really anime. This seems more like digital art. So this wasn't really the style I was going for, but it looks beautiful nevertheless. There are some noticeable flaws, like this arm here. I don't know if is this connected to this arm or this arm, and then there's some extra earring dangling here, but overall, it's not bad. Alright, this looks more like anime. This looks very good, I must say. And then this is the final image. This does not look like anime. This is more like 2.5 or 3D. So not exactly what I was going for, but it looks very nice nevertheless. And then finally, here is Flux Pro. I know Flux Pro does very well with anime, and as expected, it gave me this very beautiful cinematic image of an anime girl at night. And here are the four generators side by side. You can see the two clear winners here are Mystic and Flux Pro. In fact, this again feeds to my suspicion that both of them are using a similar architecture or they're using similar training data, because the style that they generate is very similar. But honestly, for anime, I would still stick to the free Stable Diffusion XL. There are a ton of different checkpoints and LoRa's for anime, and they tend to generate much better quality anime images compared to these four image generators, at least for now. Alright, next I'm going to test out its ability to generate uncommon animals. So the prompt is a Komodo dragon in the forest, its tongue is extended, and it appears to be alert and in motion. Realistic photo. That's because I know that some image generators only do well with humans, but it totally sucks at generating other animals. So I really want to test out if Mystic and Ideogram are able to generate uncommon animals. And as expected, here's what I got from Mystic. This completely does not look like a Komodo dragon, okay? For your reference, a real Komodo dragon looks like this, and fun fact, this is the largest lizard in the world, and it's only found in Indonesia. So this does not look like a Komodo dragon at all. And then here's what we got from Ideogram. Again, this looks absolutely awful. It's like making up this creature that doesn't exist. A Komodo dragon does not look like this. Let's see if Midjourney can do any better, and yes, it does. Alright, Midjourney is able to actually understand what a Komodo dragon is. Now, the tongue is not accurate. This should be a forked tongue, but at least it got the face and the shape correct. Here's the second image, here's the third image, and the fourth image. Again, the tongue just looks really weird in these examples, and it shouldn't be. This looks like bacon or something. What the hell? Again, just a reminder, a Komodo dragon looks like this in real life. And then finally, we have Flux Pro, which, as expected, does not know what a Komodo dragon is. It sucks at generating uncommon animals, and so it just made up this creature that looks like a dragon. And here are the 4 generators side by side. So the only one that actually understood what a Komodo dragon is was Midjourney version 6. And even Midjourney wasn't that great, so it couldn't generate a forked tongue. But I mean, the clear winner here is Midjourney. The other ones just made up a random creature that doesn't exist. By the way, I've also tested out Google's newest Imagen 3, and this is by far the best image generator for uncommon animals. So here's what I got from Imagen 3 using the same prompt, and you can see it generated a Komodo dragon, plus it has a forked tongue. This looks exactly like a real Komodo dragon. Anyways, that sums up my tests of these 4 image generators, including the newest and mysterious Mystic and Ideogram version 2. Note that some of these are very hard and tricky prompts that I do not expect all 4 of these image generators to get correct. I'm clearly trying to test out its understanding of context and text and different styles, different animals, different poses, and see if it can pull this off. So hopefully that gives you a sense of what these 4 image generators can and cannot do. I think the answer here is that it really depends on your use case. For some prompts, Mystic or Flux Pro might work better. For other prompts, Ideogram or Midjourney might work better. It really depends on what you want to generate. So if you've had a chance to play around with these generators, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Which one are you most impressed by? Which one are you most disappointed with? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so let me know in the comments below. As always, I will be on the lookout for the top AI news and tools to share with you. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. Also, there's just so much happening in the world of AI every week. I can't possibly cover everything on my YouTube channel. So to really stay up to date with all that's going on in AI, be sure to subscribe to my free weekly newsletter. The link to that will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.